This is a fully functional analytics dashboard built with Qt 6 swappable color themes, custom painted charts, multi-page navigation with a sidebar, and the entire styling is controlled by a single QML file. Change one color in that file, and every component in the app updates automatically through QML's property binding system. I'm Daniel from LearnQt Guide. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how this project is built, show you how the theming system works under the hood, and show you how to add a brand new page to the navigation. By the end, you'll have a working mental model of how a real QML application is structured, not just the theory, but the actual code. The project is part of a free book called 3 Dashboards, 1 Weekend. Link is in the description. Let's get to it. The next steps assume you have the source code on your local file system. If you don't, use the link in the description or the pinned comment to get your copy. Now open Qt Creator. Go to File, then open File or Project, navigate to the Qt QML folder, and open the cmakelist.txt file. Pick a kit with Qt 6.5 or newer, click Configure Project, and you're in. Here's what the project looks like. At the root, there's the cmakelist.txt build file. Then two main folders, Source and QML. This split is intentional, and it tells you something important about how QML applications are structured. The source folder contains main.cpp, the app entry point, and two C++ classes, line chart item and donut chart item. Those are the chart components. They use Qt's QPainter API for rendering and expose themselves to QML using the QML element macro. Everything else, the layout, navigation, stat cards, data tables, theming, lives in the QML folder. At the root of the QML folder, main.qml is the root window. Theme.qml is the singleton that controls all the colors. Then there's a components subfolder with reusable building blocks. Sidebar, top bar, stat card, data table, and a pages subfolder with one file per page. Dashboard page, analytics page, reports page, users page. Notice there are no QSS style sheet files anywhere. In Qt widgets, you control styling through external style sheets. In QML, styling is done entirely through properties. All colors live in theme.qml, and every component reads from it directly. When you build and run, that's the QML dashboard, same visual result as a Qt widgets version, but the implementation underneath is fundamentally different. Let's look at how navigation is wired, because it's much more concise than you might expect. The sidebar component emits a navigation changed signal when you click a nav button. In main.qml, we handle it with an inline signal handler right where the sidebar is declared. The handler does two things. It sets the stack layout's current index to show the right page, and it updates the breadcrumb text in the top bar. No connect calls, no slot methods declared separately. The handler lives right next to the component it belongs to. Below it, the stack layout just lists the page components. Dashboard page is index 0, analytics page is index 1, and so on. When the sidebar emits navigation changed with a value of 2, the handler sets the stack layout's current index to 2, and QML shows reports page. Click through the sidebar now to see it in action. That's the entire navigation system. Open qml/theme.qml. This file controls every color in the application. It's a QML singleton, meaning there's one instance shared by the entire app. Every component references it directly. Theme.accentBlue, theme.card, theme.textPrimary. When a property in theme.qml changes, every binding that references it updates automatically. That's QML's property binding system. The file contains 6 complete theme palettes. Each one is a set of named color properties. Only one can be active at a time. The others are wrapped in block comments. The default is dark blue, purple. Look at the property names: background, sidebar, top sidebar, bottom, card, hover, border, text primary, text secondary, and 5 accent colors. These are the exact names every component uses. The stat card reads theme.accentBlue for its colored indicator line. The sidebar reads theme.sidebar top and sidebar bottom for its gradient. To switch to the cyberpunk theme, wrap the active block in a block comment to disable it, then find the cyberpunk block below and remove the comment markers around it. The cyberpunk palette replaces accent blue with electric cyan, hex 00D9FF, accent green with neon green, hex 39FF14, and accent red with hot magenta, hex FF0080. Rebuild and run, the entire dashboard transforms. Every widget that reads from theme picks up the new colors automatically. There's no QSS file to update, no separate color struct to keep in sync. Theme.qml is the single source of truth, and property bindings take care of the rest. Try all 6 palettes. Forest is earthy and muted. Nord is cool and professional. Ocean Breeze is blues and cyan. Swapping between them is a 2-line edit in a single file. Open QML/pages/dashboardpage.qml. The 4 stat cards at the top of the dashboard page are declared in a row layout. Look at one card: icon char, title, value, change, positive, accent, color. Every property has a name. You can read exactly what each one does without knowing any constructor signature. This is one of QML's real strengths for UI work. The code reads like a description of the interface. Below the active row layout, there are 3 more options in commented out blocks: e-commerce, server monitoring, and marketing campaign. To swap to the e-commerce set, wrap the active row layout in a block comment, then find the e-commerce block below it and remove its comment markers. The 4 cards become total orders, products sold, return rate, and customer satisfaction. Rebuild and run. The cards update immediately. The stat card component itself didn't change at all, just the data you pass to it. That's component reuse working the way it should. The line chart and donut chart are C++ components exposed to QML. They inherit from QQuickPainted item and use QPainter for rendering, registered as QML types with the QML element macro. From the QML side, you just declare them like any other component and set their properties. Here's the default line chart. Data points is an array of 12 values, January through December, and line color is set to theme.accent blue. All of that is standard QML property syntax, even though the rendering happens in C++. To swap to the weekly sales pattern, comment out the default line chart item and uncomment option 2. It has 7 data points, Monday through Sunday, and uses theme.accent green for the line color. Then scroll to the donut chart item inside the category breakdown card. The default shows electronics product categories. Option 2 shows traffic source data, organic search, direct, social media, email, referral. Comment out the default and uncomment option 2. Rebuild and run. The line chart now shows a weekly sales curve, 7 data points rising through the week toward Saturday, then dipping on Sunday. The donut chart shows traffic source percentages. Organic search takes the biggest slice at 42%, then direct at 28%, social media at 18%, email at 8%, and referral at 4%. Neither chart component required any C++ changes. You set different property values in QML, and the C++ rendering code handled the rest. C++ for performance-critical rendering, QML for data and layout. That's the pattern. Let's add a settings page in Qt Creator. Right-click on the project name in the sidebar and select Add New. Choose QML file, QtQuick2, name it Settings Page, and save it to the QML/Pages folder. Qt Creator creates a minimal stub. Replace the generated content with a flickable as the root element. This makes the page scrollable. Inside it, a column layout holds the content. At the top, a row layout with 4 stat cards. Same stat card component the dashboard page uses, just with different data: page views, bounce rate, average session, and traffic sources. Notice what isn't here: no class declaration, no header file, no constructor, no setup method, just a description of the layout. That's the full page. Open cmakelist.txt, find the Qt add QML module call. It's where all the QML files are listed. Add 2 things. First, a set source files properties call to give the new file a resource alias. This tells the Qt build system to make settings page.qml accessible directly under the dashboard module URI without the QML/pages prefix. Then add the file itself to the QML files list alongside the other page files. That's it for the build system. Now 3 small changes across 2 files. Open main.qml, find the page names property. It's a list of breadcrumb strings, 1 per page. Add settings/preferences as the 5th entry. Then scroll to the stack layout and add settings page as the 5th child. It becomes index 4. That's 2 lines in main.qml. Now open qml/components/sidebar.qml. Find the nav model property. It's a list of objects, each with an icon, character, and a label. Add a new entry with a gear icon and the text settings. The sidebar uses a repeater that iterates over this list, so adding an object to the array automatically creates a new nav button with hover states, click handling, and active highlighting. It's a data change, not a UI change. Rebuild and run. The sidebar now has a settings button at the bottom. Click it. The stack layout switches to index 4. The settings page renders its stack cards, and the breadcrumb updates to settings/preferences. And because settings page references theme.accent blue and the other accent colors directly, it already respects whatever theme is active. Switch to cyberpunk, and the settings page goes neon along with everything else. 3 files touched. 1 new QML file created. That's the workflow for adding any page to this navigation system. So that's what a real QML application looks like under the hood. The theming system is a singleton file, theme.qml, with named color properties. Every component in the app binds to those properties, so swapping a theme is a 2-line edit in a single file. No style sheets, no secondary color structs, no search and replace. Navigation is a stack layout controlled by a signal handler. The sidebar emits an index. The handler sets current index. QML shows the right page and updates the breadcrumb. The whole thing is a dozen lines in main.qml. The chart components show how C++ and QML work together. Rendering logic stays in C++ for performance and type safety. Data and layout stay in QML, where they're easy to read and change. And adding a new page is about 30 lines across 4 files. Create the QML file, register it in C, make lists, add it to the stack layout, add an entry to the sidebar model. The repeater handles the rest. If you want to go deeper into any of this, property bindings in depth, animations, connecting a real C++ backend, I cover all of it in the Qt6 QML course at LearnQt Guide. That's 50+ hours of content with 6+ real projects, taking you from the fundamentals to production-ready applications. Link is in the description, and grab the free book while you're there. It's called 3 Dashboards, 1 Weekend. It has all this source code plus the same dashboard, built 2 other ways, one with C++ and Qt widgets, one with Python and PySide 6. It's the fastest way to figure out which Qt technology is the right fit for what you're building. That's it for this one. If this was useful, please like and subscribe for more Qt content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.